Why Indonesia is not for everyone. This is the topic of today's video. Shooting it here from near Kota Kinabalu in Sabah, Borneo, East Malaysia. And what you can see in the back is the Mount Kinabalu, the highest mountain, I believe, in Southeast Asia. I have to look it up. And we are lucky today because the mountain is not visible every day, but it was raining last night, so the skies are pretty clear. And before I jump into today's topic, I wanted to show you this awesome view and sight. This is, it's not very rare, but it's also not very often and common that you can see the shape of the mountain so clearly. And the sun will actually rise behind the mountain. It will come up in a few minutes. And I'm walking here on a golf course, by the way, but this golf course is I think it's still in operation, but right next to me is the South China Sea. So, topic of today's video, why Indonesia is not for everyone. And I have received a few viewer comments which I want to address today, but I want to read you one comment just to set the table. Quote: "Hi, I've mentioned before that I can speak like B1 Bahasa Indonesia. And I have all these plans to move to the country next year, but I'm kind of losing interest in the culture, and I've been starting to see some things I don't really like that much. Should I still give Indonesia a chance or try and make it happen someplace like Malaysia, Cambodia or Vietnam?" That was one viewer comment. And I received another viewer comment also regarding Indonesia, and that this gentleman is feeling a little bit disappointed about certain things. So our first comment here, he later clarified a little bit what is the matter with his opinion about Indonesia. He said that many Indonesians apparently have a low opinion about Westerners. And I will address this in a second. And the second viewer who also commented, he also studied or is studying Bahasa Indonesia, by the way, which is actually a good thing. Why not? When you're interested in the country, why not learning the language? You don't need to, but it's always better to speak a few words, right? So this second gentleman, for example, didn't feel welcome in Indonesia. He traveled there, I believe it was Jakarta. So he was boots on the ground, he traveled there, but he didn't really feel welcome. He finds that people are not friendly there and rude. He also complains basically, or commented that the people are staring at crazy, or were staring like crazy at him. So people staring, which is quite common. It can happen in Indonesia. I mentioned this also a few times. And he only, in 10 days being in Indonesia or Jakarta, he only met 6 foreigners. Hard to believe in Jakarta, but maybe you travel to other places. And that can happen if you travel to the rural places, like to the deep province, then you barely find any foreigners there. Also, he experienced weird, in his opinion, in his view, weird behavior, like when he was approaching a food counter there to buy some food. People just turned away and kind of wanted to ignore him or disappearing, not wanting to engage with him. Also, for example, when he approached an elevator, the Indonesian people who were inside the elevator already didn't wait for him, for this guy, but were busy to close the door and drive up at the elevator. So I can tell you, these are all very, not very common, but these things happen to me as well. Yeah, and I wanna first address the seemingly low opinion about Westerners. Of course, everybody makes his own experiences and gains his own impressions. These two gentlemen here, these are their own personal experiences and impressions, right? So we have to accept that. Yeah, this is how it is. But in my opinion, in my experience, I cannot say that Indonesians have a low opinion about Westerners. Not in general, not the majority. There are for sure some Indonesians who don't like foreigners, 100%. And there are also Indonesians who maybe even hate foreigners. Yeah, this is 100% the case also. But it's not the majority. Yeah. Regarding the thing not feeling welcome, it also depends on your personality and your character. If you are a very shy person, for example, and maybe have not traveled that much, then I don't know, if you're coming from the United States or other countries where, you know, people are a little bit more, how to say, more open in their conduct, you know, then, and I don't exactly really know what happened to this guy there, why he is telling that he didn't feel welcome and that people are not friendly and rude even. I have no idea. But it depends really on your if you are very sensitive and measure every gesture or body language thing, or I don't know. In Germany we would say, wenn du alles auf die Goldwaage legst, hier, jedes einzelne Wort, jedes einzelne Verhalten, if you put every single behavior or word onto a gold scale, then you will lose, you know, then you also cannot travel, okay? Indonesians are, in my experience and also in the experience of many other travelers and people who retired there and live there, very welcoming people. They are friendly overall and not rude. Yeah? So the sun is now coming up slowly. I will turn around later one more time. And but this is his experience, so we have to respect and accept that. Yeah. But I'm just wondering, how did he come to these conclusions? If you are so sensitive, for example, that you need everybody or every Indonesian, be it man or woman, to smile at you and greet you and hug you and run at you and wants to take picture with you, then of course, I mean, this will never happen, you know. It maybe also depends, therefore, with what kind of expectations you already arrive in this country, you know. I can tell you, I lived in the United States for about 2 years in California and in Arizona, and for me the Americans are very superficial. Yeah, when you are a first timer to the States, you also find the Americans very easygoing and they're so nice, and they greet you even in the supermarket. They say, hey, how are you doing? Yeah, hey, what's going on? So if you're not used to that, I'm from Germany, and I can tell you, when I go to a supermarket in Germany, I don't greet strangers. For what? I have nothing to do with them. I don't even greet the cashier. Yeah, but in America it's just custom, you know. I was confused in the beginning. I thought, wow, these Americans, they're so friendly. They care for me. Nothing. This is just a very superficial culture there also. In a way, a very superficial way to treat each other. This is just the culture in America. If I want to be extreme, I could also say that's actually very rude because it's just superficial. These people really don't give a shit about me, which they don't. It is just like it is. So, hey, how are you doing? Yeah, and blah, blah, blah. This is all superficial crap, actually. I'm telling you as it is. Yeah, as I experienced that. Sun is up. You cannot see. It's too bright. Anyway, but of course, I'm not saying that all Americans are, I don't know, idiots or stupid or superficial people and don't care about each other. No, but you know, I just want to share my experience as a German traveling to the States. And every culture has different customs, right? And the Indonesians, yeah, they are not approach you and say, how are you doing, Westerner? How are you? What's going on? Apa kabar? Sometimes they smile, sometimes they say Mr. and things like that, but in general they're more shy anyway. But internally they are curious, you know, they're actually open-minded. Probably more interested than these Americans, I can tell you, 100%. Yeah? The American interest is really superficial. They don't care about you, really. Yeah, you're a stranger, and that's actually normal. If you're a stranger, why should they care? You know? But I find the Indonesians a little bit more curious because you are a Western foreigner and there's curiosity there. That's all I want to say. Yeah, so crazy stares everywhere. This guy received crazy stares everywhere. Yeah, this is another thing, you know. If you are maybe sensitive and too much self-conscious or self-centered, I don't know, then it can, feel like that everybody stares at you, but also not really. I mean, not everybody in Indonesia stares at you. Some people do, and you also have this in China, for example. I remember, like, I don't know how it is today. I bet you go to China, you travel to some province there where people have barely seen a foreigner. You walk through this village, I guarantee you get a lot of stares. This is not because they are hostile or they don't like you. No, it's just sheer curiosity. You have to put yourself in their shoes. You've never seen a white guy, for example, or a black guy, it doesn't matter. They stare at you because you are an attraction. It's something out of the ordinary. You are never seen before, so of course they give you a look. It's normal. No need to feel offended, and actually you should take it as a compliment, you know. And for the guys, and I know there are guys who need a lot of attention. Yeah, they enjoy it, you know. They feel like king. Oh, look, especially when the girls then look and stare at them, you know, or even smile. They feel like king, you know. Yeah, this is like that, you know. It's psychology. So I never found it insulting or harming when people stared at me. I remember in China 20 years ago I walked, and that was in the middle of Beijing, Tiananmen Square. In the middle of the day, hundreds of people there. And I was walking there by myself taking some pictures, and then this one couple, a Chinese couple, husband, wife and a little baby, they saw me and they stopped me, and this woman pushed her baby into my arms. I was supposed to hold the baby so she could take a picture. You know? Things like that, you know, just curiosity. Yeah. And then people walking away when you want to order some food at McDonald's, KFC or some other places maybe. Yeah, this also kind of happened to me already. I can remember that. So it's like, or people, what he said, closing the elevator and just are busy getting away from him. Yeah, it's a little bit weird. I understand. But these people are just shy. Some of them are just shy, you know. When you are, let's say, working at McDonald's as a order taker, you're like 18 years old or 20 years old, and you don't speak English very well, and then you see this foreigner coming and approaching. Yeah, these people get really shy, you know, and then they turn around or start to talk to their other guys or friends if they can take the order. They are just shy, and they don't feel confident to talk to you or to handle you. Yeah, this is all. This is not because they hate you or don't like you. This is no. It's not like that. This is just shy behavior. So these kind of things can happen in Indonesia. They can also happen in the Philippines. They can happen in Vietnam, in Malaysia. They can happen in Cambodia and Laos. Yeah, anywhere. So you are a stranger to them, and you are not familiar to them. So, and everybody is a little bit different. And then you have Indonesians, you know, who feel confident. They speak English. They feel confident to approach you. They talk to you. They have no issues. Yeah. So you also have the other people and everything in between. So, but of course, Indonesia is not for everyone. Yeah. I never claimed that, you know. I do promote Indonesia, yes, because I had good experience. I also had some bad experience, but the good experiences outweigh the bad ones. And you always have to be, or try to be, rational and objective somehow. But anyway, I had so many good experiences, and yeah. But these guys who commented on Indonesia here and the bad experience they made, never mind, they did the right thing. They traveled to Indonesia, boots on the ground, and they made their own experiences. This is exactly the right thing to do. Yeah? And not just watching a bunch of YouTube videos, paralysis analysis, you know, and then just study yourself to death and asking thousands of questions and watching another 1,000 videos, reading another 1,000,000 blog posts about Indonesia, and actually never make it to the country. What's the point? Yeah, it's all useless. Yeah, I mean, to gather some information and intelligence is always correct, but then you travel there, boots on the ground, you want to find out if this is really what you think it is. And if Indonesia, if you find out that Indonesia is not your thing, hey, easy, huh? No problem. Maybe you are disappointed, and maybe your expectations were not fulfilled, but that's how it is, right? But at least you have now first-hand experience, and then you can say either, okay, Indonesia is not for me, I rule it out now, I will never come back because of this, this, and this, and this. Or you say, hey, it's even better than I thought, right? Or maybe it's completely different than you thought. Or maybe you say, hey, Indonesia is totally different than what Marcel is talking all about in his videos all the time, right? Because we are all different. Yeah, and if Indonesia is something for you, then it's good. And even if Indonesia is nothing for you, then it's also good, because you made your first-hand experience. And this is the message of today's video, you know. But thanks for sharing these your observations, and yeah, thanks for sharing this. This is important. Because yeah, there is something to it. Yeah, so some of these observations and experiences these guys made, I also can relate, and everybody of us is a little bit different, like I mentioned, and so everybody experienced it a little bit different. Yeah, so some people are really maybe thinking or feeling, yeah, oh, you know, they met two rude Indonesians, and then they of course generalize and say, yeah, these Indonesians, you know, they suck, they're just rude, they're just you know, and they don't like Westerners at all. This is just a weird culture. Yeah, you know, this is the thing with traveling, you know. Traveling is educating, but we have to be careful that we are, and it's a great self-education process, traveling, because it shows you how quickly we can jump into the wrong conclusions, to develop prejudices so quickly, to develop irrational thoughts. This actually speaks for our own immaturity. Yeah, so try to aikido this whole thing and hold the mirror up in front of yourself and see if, before you start to blame the other people, hey, maybe it's something wrong with you, maybe your perception is clouded, you know. Maybe, yeah, seriously, I mean it. I mean, still today, I've been traveling to Asia for 20 years now. I also have my obstacles, you know, and sometimes I judge these people too quickly, and then actually it was all my fault. Yeah, so always checks and balances. Don't judge too early. You're coming from a different culture. Maybe you are also impatient, like I am. I'm a very impatient guy. Can you know, guy? Yeah, the guys of you who know Southeast Asia a bit, Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia. If you are impatient in these countries, you better stay away, right? You need a lot of patience in these countries because clocks ticking differently. This is only one thing, you know. So this is what I learned. In the beginning, I was like behaving completely differently. Everything was shit. I was the king, and everything needs to work as I want and expect, you know. But this is not how it. I was very young at the time, you know, like end of 20s. But no, I also had to learn this over the years, you know. You need to adopt and you need to adapt, and you need to develop also, and you need to question yourself a lot also. Yeah, your own assumptions, expectations, your information you got about this country, about Indonesia, you know. Your own motivations you have to question. Sorry, my English. And everything you have to question if you want to make serious progress, you know. Just to point fingers and get frustrated is a very easy shortcut way to do, but it's not gonna help you and not gonna help anybody, you know. So this is all I can tell you here. This is my advice I can give you. And yeah, you know how the saying goes, if you point one finger to another person and then actually you point 3 fingers to yourself, right? But anyway, I don't want to get lost in this now. Here walking on the beach, Karambunai beach actually, in Sabah, Malaysia. In case you are wondering where I am. This is a hotel I also worked at 3 years. It's the Nexus Resort here. Beautiful place. Nexus Resort Karambunai. Some say it's heaven. Look it up online in the internet. Nexus Resort. I had the great pleasure to work here for 3 years in paradise. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Have you made similar experiences in Indonesia? Do you also say, you know, Indonesia is really not for me. The people, they suck. They are rude. They hate Westerners. They're all Muslims. They're all radicals. They don't speak English. The women, they are just pretenders. Or do you say, no, Indonesia is my favorite place because the people are so friendly, the food is great, nature is fantastic, I can have peace of mind, or I found peace of mind. I built my house there, I married an Indonesian woman, she is now my wife, and I have the time of my life. And nobody bothers me, nobody wants anything from me. I live in Java, in the middle of the jungle somewhere, and do my own business and mind my own business. Anyway, so checking out. Now, and I'm gonna see you in one of my next videos. Take care, bye bye.